A couple of days ago, I was scrolling on TikTok, came across a couple of videos regarding some controversy between a famous TikTok creator, Pumping the Gentleman. Now, I was familiar with his content since it will pop up on my For You page at times, but I'll only like his videos and not watch his entire account. I don't have him followed. I just like some of his videos. I do not watch his content that much. But this is not what it's about. Recently, there's been some allegations on Pumpkin, and while some were true and helped me dive more into the situation, some were just straight up false and had such lack of evidence with the claims that were made about Pumpkin, to the point where this situation is much more harder to explain than it originally did. But I will try to explain to the best of my abilities in this video, that being the Pumpkin Gentleman controversy. But before I get into that, I would like to make a few disclaimers. That being, at the time of making this video, Pumpkin has privated all of his social media accounts except for his YouTube, so the evidence I gathered for this video is very limited due to this. And this video will contain sensitive subjects, which I'll get into more as I go into the video. Viewer discretion is advised. Pumpkin the Gentleman is both a safe for work and a not safe for work artist on TikTok with over 500,000 followers and 20 million likes. His content mostly consists of him posting art about his daily life, opinions that he has, funny videos, and even suggestive content. He also has a Twitter account, but all I can guess what he does on there is post on his work since it's, well, privated as well. So I don't know what he usually does on his Twitter account. And his YouTube isn't much help either since he rarely posts on there and mostly posts on either Twitter or TikTok. As I was saying, Pumpkin is a not safe for work artist, meaning both his TikTok and his Twitter aren't for young audiences, since his TikTok account is stated to be 16 plus, and assuming that his Twitter account is 18 plus, looking at the screenshots that I've gathered for this video. And this is mostly because Pumpkin has different perspectives of what 16 plus content and 18 plus content is due to him being born in Japan. And knowing how Japan is when it comes to things like that, how the culture is, how ratings are in Japan, just Japan having different expectations other than like the United States, it's not a surprise that Pumpkin has an entirely different perspective of what 16 plus content even is than regular people, which leads to his first controversy of this drama. Now, this first controversy is probably the reason why people dislike Pumpkin as a whole. It's because on his TikTok account and Twitter account, he occasionally posts first trap videos and suggestive content. Now, this itself isn't bad exactly, since he's 18 years old, he puts warnings on his videos that his content is for kids and that it's suggestive. And overall, you would think that just by me saying this, that this drama is just, this controversy is being blown out of proportion, right? Well, that's not exactly accurate, since, well, yes, Pumpkin does specify this content is for kids and actually puts warnings on his content. He still doesn't exactly enforce the 18 to 16 plus ratings on his account, which causes a lot of his fan base to consist of people who are below 16 and 18, basically full of 13-year-olds, which is pretty bad itself, considering the fact that this 18-year-old man is like unintentionally showing 13-year-olds nasty for content at such a young age, which I do not have to explain why that's very bad. Now, I'm not out here trying to say that he's responsible for that, unlike what everyone thinks and says, but at some point he has to enforce his ratings just a little bit more so that situations like this doesn't happen. Although I will say that looking at his content before it got privated or deleted, it seems like he doesn't do that much suggestive content on his TikTok account specifically. I can't say the same for his Twitter account. He probably does more on his Twitter account. But even with the suggestive content on his TikTok account, it doesn't seem that explicit, or to me, it doesn't seem that explicit. And I feel like many people are like overreacting about the suggestive content he does on his TikTok account, especially in last year of December, where Pumpkin claimed that there was only 3 videos out of the hundreds of videos he posts on his TikTok where there was suggestive content, or at least around that time when he posted that video, that was true. But yeah, there's basically some people that believe that Pumpkin is like a pedophile for this and literally accuse him of like texting minors because of him not enforcing the mature ratings, which is something I find incredibly stupid and irresponsible to believe that. Since yes, again, I think that Pumpkin doesn't say enough, but that doesn't mean he's trying to go after children. Hell, I even argue that even if his TikTok account were to be 18 plus, minors are still going to go on his account and look at it. Because, hey, kids are kids and they're not going to listen. All right? They don't care. They're not going to listen. And at the end of the day, it is not his responsibility to look after other people's kids, especially the fact that he's posting this stuff on mature social media apps like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and etc. That is the parents' fault. It is neither the creator's fault or the child's fault. Overall, I'd say that I'm mostly neutral on this controversy, since I agree and understand both points on this subject. And I can basically sum it up to like, yeah, whatever, that's your opinion. That's literally what I can like sum up the entire first controversy. However, the second one is very, very huge. It's a huge one, and I will go into complete detail on this one. So, yeah, let's go right on ahead. Now, this second controversy is the second reason why I decided to make this video in the first place. But before I give some explanations of what Pumpkin has posted on his Twitter, I have to give some definitions of what I'm talking about so that everyone that's watched this video can understand what I'm even talking about in the first place. That being lolicon. And lolicon is a popular Japanese culture that consists of a genre of fiction media that focuses on young-looking girl characters in a suggestive manner that can be associated with manga, anime, and video games. An example of what a lolicon is a character that has the appearance of a child, the mentality of a child, and the emotions of a child. And these three characteristic traits can often determine rather if a character can be considered a lolicon or a shoutercon. So it's basically just pedophilia and just extra steps, and somnophilia, a the urge to have erotic encounter with someone who's asleep. And by the way, before I continue on with the video, I had to Google search this, by the way, which was not a fun time Google searching. I feel very uncomfortable just having to explain this, but hey, I gotta make this video simple. Anyways, now that I have explained what I will be talking about in the second chapter of this controversy, I will now continue on with the explanation. On December 16, 2023, Pumpkin made a post about a character from an anime, that being Farian from Farian Beyond Journey's End. Now, when I first heard about this, my first thought was, wait, this was the reason why people called him a lolicon, since unlike most people, I've actually done some research and while I was like digging into this drama, and the results I got very much confused me of why people called him a lolicon for that. That being the character that he made art about is not a lolly, or at least in my opinion, she isn't a lolly, since as I stated in my explanation of what a lolicon even is, Varian doesn't fit the characteristic traits of that, or her just being short, stated in the character wiki of her. And I believe that she's like at least 5'3", It's probably not even stated in the wiki. Some other guy said that, but it basically describes her appearance to be petite, not lolicon. You're probably wondering, hey, what's a petite? Well, petite is a woman who is short and has a small, trim figure, and people often confuse that with lolicon a lot. I mean, a lot, especially in anime, with characters like Tatsumaki from One Punch Man and Rebecca from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Now, you're probably wondering, hey, what's the difference between them? Well, I'm glad you asked, if you did. Anyways, the difference is that Lolicon purposely goes out of its way to make a character act, appear, and talk as if they're an actual child. Like at that point, they might as well is a child, despite them being like 1,000 years old, which is why people look down upon Lolicon. And hey, so do I, because I'm not even gonna lie, those niggas are weird as hell. They're weird as shit. Anyways, I'm not out here saying that you can't like the characters. Don't be weird about it. Now, as for petite, well, yes, the character is short and they could have the appearance of a child. It at least goes out of its way to tell you that the character is an adult and not a child. And yes, well, these characters do have their immature moments here and there. They also have moments of showing immaturity in their character as a fully grown adult would. And they just have short, mature proportions. It even have curves to tell you that it's not a child. However, with Lolicon, I feel like that's not the case. And with Furion in this context, she fits the description. She is stoic, she is carefree, while also having an aloof attitude towards people. Overall, she doesn't fit the traits of a Lolicon to be considered one. And I believe that the post that Pumpkin made on December 16th was a huge misunderstanding between Petite and Lolicon. And also the fact that Pumpkin generally did not make himself look better, considering the fact that his response was, oh, but she's 1,000 years old, which is generally not a good response when people are trying to accuse you of being a Lolicon, aka you may or may not be attracted to minors. Anyways, Pumpkin has also made a post 21 days ago regarding another underage character, that being Kuroni, which is a character from the Hello Kitty series, and her age confirms to be 6 years old. There isn't much I can say about this one, but all I can say is that he probably doesn't know the age of this character, which is why he said what he said. But like that's probably not the case. Anyways, now that I've got that out of the way, now time for another one that I have to explain. So there's been some allegations that Pumpkin is a somophile. Since on Twitter he reposted a Nazi word comic on Twitter that basically contains the scene where two characters have some erotic times with each other and one of them being asleep, which caused many people to accuse Pumpkin and the person who made that comic to be non-con. Now, when I first saw the screenshots of this, I recognized who that was, since I'm pretty sure the original person who created that document or whatever, I'll link it down below, whoever created or got the screenshots didn't censor the artist's name. So I recognized their profile, I recognized their name, and I immediately searched their account on Twitter. And this artist goes by the name of Moth. Now, Moth claims that he's also gotten some death threats for posting his comic named Sleepy Cicada, and states that it was not assault, and the comic makes it extremely clear that it was consensual at the screenshots that he provided. And I do believe what he's saying is in fact the truth. Since some people are in fact into this while I was doing research on this topic, and in some cases somnophilia isn't illegal, since as long as the partner is like okay with it. But like I don't want to like dive too deep into this part, since I don't want people to get advocate for SA or any other sex offense crime. But one thing I will say about this drama is that people confuse petite with lolicon a lot in anime. And as for the creator of the comic, I do feel bad that he's gotten deference over this. I do not want anyone to go out of their way to harass Moth or anyone else in this controversy whatsoever. Please do not go out of your way to harass Pumpkin the Gentleman or Moth, the one who created that comic. I do not want people to harass them. Please do not harass them. I do not want that at all. Don't harass them. Please don't do that. Please do not harass them. I do not want that at all. Don't harass them. Please don't do that. Anyways, it's time to move on to the third controversy. This is probably the most easiest thing I can ever explain in this video, so I'm trying to go right on ahead. Now, after news has gotten out about what Pumpkin has posted, many people have just straight up tried to accuse him of being a pedophile and him talk to minors despite having zero evidence to back it up, and lots of people making jokes about the situation and not fully investigating it like I am right now. And the amount of people that I just see that straight up call Pumpkin a pedophile or say he's groomed minors is absolutely ridiculous. Not to mention the fact that there's like multiple different stories being told on the situation, which is not helping my investigation and research whatsoever. And some even accuse Pumpkin for harassing Baby Boo Pumpkin, which is another TikTok creator. And as for those who don't know who Baby Boo Pumpkin is, she is basically a Pumpkin the Gentleman clone. And just absolutely hated Pumpkin for whatever reason, if I can remember it, to the point where she made extremely inappropriate and explicit art of Pumpkin's little brother. And I'm not going to go into details of what it's depicted in the art, since I don't want this video to get taken down. Basically, what happened after this, the entire art community went full mob on her and started like shitting on her. They were going absolutely apeshit on this woman for making art of a real child, which was pretty much deserved considering how fucking unhinged that was. Anyway, some people accuse Pumpkin of like supporting harassment by him making a video clarifying that he doesn't support harassment or doxing against anyone, and some even think that Baby Boo Pumpkin is a minor despite being evidence that she's around the same age as Pumpkin. On one of Pumpkin's posts, he posted someone's self-harm experience on Twitter, and also posted his genitalia on Twitter. And there's only one of these I can defend, which is the genitalia pic. Like I said before, Pumpkin should not take responsibilities for other people's kids. His Twitter account is 18+. It is not meant for kids in the first place, and they shouldn't be there in the first place. It's absolutely irresponsible and stupid to call him a pedophile and a creep for posting suggestive content on an 18+ account, especially on Twitter, which is known for having that type of content on the platform. Like, I feel like people who say this about Pumpkin literally say that like all people who post not secret content on Twitter is like a pedophile or something. Like, it's just so stupid. Like listen, I get Pumpkin is not a good person, but to say that he's a creep for posting suggestive content on an 18+ account is absolutely stupid. And the fact that the creator of the document tries to play it off as like good quality evidence is just absolutely idiotic. Pumpkin is not responsible for other people's kids. Like, y'all should know this. Like, it's so idiotic. Like, he shouldn't be responsible for other people's kids. Like, that's just so stupid. Anyways, let's just end the video. At the time of making this video, I gathered most of my evidence from a website that basically has all of the evidence I was talking about, of all of the free controversies that I talked about in this video, and that's where I got my evidence from. The website is currently being updated by Wilson, a link down below. But I'd like to say that there's a recent evidence that the website has that basically shows Pumpkin getting sent not safe for work by a 17-year-old. And the creator of that website tries to make some accusations or insinuate that Pumpkin is a groomer or a pedophile, which is something that I absolutely disagree with. The person is 17, Pumpkin is 18. That is not illegal whatsoever. Or at least to me, that 17 and 18 isn't bad at all. It's perfectly normal. Pumpkin is not a groomer at all. I understand that he's not a good person by any means, but to straight up make these accusations that Pumpkin is a pedophile, or at least insinuate that he is one, is absolutely stupid. We don't know much about Pumpkin. We already know that he doesn't enforce his ratings all that much. And well, yes, what he said about Grummy is controversial, and it's debate rather if he's a lolicon or not. Still, we cannot say that Pumpkin is a pedophile. Whoever's making this evidence, whoever made the website, I suggest you stop insinuating that Pumpkin's a pedophile. Because not only is it stupid, but also reckless of you to say that, considering the fact that people are already lying about this situation. And the entire reason why I even decided to make this video is because I am honestly afraid that the situation will get blown out of proportion due to many TikTok users completely lacking comprehension skills or just any rational thoughts in general. A lot of stuff that was said about Pumpkin was basically baseless and useless information on a serious subject determining whether if Pumpkin is a danger to minors or not. Before I end this video, I would like to say that a few days ago, Pumpkin has posted a video regarding allegations, saying that he's going to keep his TikTok account to 16 plus due to have his followers be minors, and knowing that he has a huge following, it's obviously going to be hard to get rid of all of the minors from his community. So his goal plan is to keep it at 16 plus. He also states that he's tired of finding the allegations due to many people not listening or not comprehending anything from this situation, and then claims multiple times that he's never touched or texted a minor inappropriately. Then his final words is an apology for being stubborn and ignorant about his ratings by not enforcing that enough or not understanding what they truly mean. Then says he's deleted most of his suggestive content on his TikTok account and has since privated all socials. At the moment of making this video, I am sort of neutral on this entire controversy. I understand both points of the argument. And I'm starting to understand that Pumpkin may or may not be a good person, but that does not give people a free pass to accuse Pumpkin of these serious allegations. We must have more evidence or something to clarify or to 100% make sure that Pumpkin is a danger to minors and not. Stop making these false allegations. They are not helping, they're only making things worse. I'm also sorry that I haven't posted in 6 months. Things have been not going as well as I expected in life, but I'll try my best to post more. Anyways, this is Fleshy Kid, and I'll see you later.